guys, and welcome to this episode of the Bad Idea Bros. So today I'm very excited to announce that we have a new bike in the fleet again, so second one this year. You saw Chris's MT-07 early in the year. This time it was my turn to get something, and I've gone for the Honda CRF250L Rally. So said goodbye to the BMW to make space for this new bike, and yeah, really happy so far. I haven't done a lot of work with it yet. Today it will just be a little bit of a ride to get the hang of it. It's obviously a lot taller than I'm used to. The only thing I've ever taken off-road is the Keeway, so it'll be interesting to see how this stacks. It should be a lot more bike. But really excited to take you along for the ride today, guys, so thank you for joining me, and let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's take the new one for a run. I've done a little bit with this, but not a lot yet, so still very much getting used to the bike. Not too bad conditions today. A little bit windy, so hopefully you guys can hear me over the wind. Just going to be doing a bit of a tarmac run today. I don't think I'm going to take it off-road just yet. Not because I've got any concerns, but just because I haven't ridden the bike and I'm more comfortable on the road, I suppose. We've started at the beach today and we're going to do a little climb up over the hills. Basically just return from the hills back down to the beach and do a nice little circuit. So thank you as always for coming along with the ride with us today. I'm really excited to show off the new CRF. Let's get into it. So already in the short time I've been on this bike, it's definitely a lot taller than what I'm used to, but that's not surprising at all. The Keeway is low, the BMW is low, and this thing's got a heck of a lot of suspension travel, so that's to be expected. In saying that, the centre of gravity doesn't feel super huge, super high I should say. It's still feels really low, still flicks very nicely, still feels very controllable, so Honda have done a really great job of keeping that low on a higher bike. Now, it is just a 250 in regards to capacity. 300cc does come out this year, but to be honest, I wasn't willing to wait the time it was going to take to get that in. The numbers on paper didn't really worry me enough to wait for the 300, so I decided to just pull the trigger on the 250, and so far no regrets at all. It's been a really good bike to ride. So as we're climbing the hill here through some of the corners, I can honestly say that it feels really good coming in and out of corners. It just lays over really nicely. The bike likes to rev though. It's interesting. I suppose I'm used to the more torquier sort of things. Honda have built this to rev and it loves it. So the red line is at 10,500 RPM. Which is not something I'm used to while riding. I've usually got a lower RPM range. The BMW was a lot torquier but a lot more low down. So it's probably not very fair to compare this bike to that one. But yeah, so far so good. Really enjoying this. Definitely pulls nicely, really nicely. Got to pull over. Wow, I just had to pull over here, guys, and admire this view. That is, that's pretty spectacular. This is not a road I've really done before, so this is new to me. And I'm really glad because I haven't seen this view before. Not from here, anyway. Wow. One of the things I absolutely adore about living in Christchurch is that I've been riding for 5 or 10 minutes and you get views like that. Just wow. So a lot of you guys are probably wondering why I chose the CRF250 Rally. There's plenty of other bikes out there that are in the same sort of class that I could have gone with, and in fact I did actually test ride quite a few of them. So I spent some time in the seat of the 390 Adventure KTM. Really lovely bike, but just not for me. The Royal Enfield Himalayan is another one that's super popular, and quite honestly, that was a very close second to the Honda. I really enjoyed that bike. I enjoyed the way it rode, but it didn't have as much ground clearance as I was hoping for. So that was pretty much the only reason I didn't really go for the Himalayan. Rode the Kawasaki Versi, again a really nice bike, but it felt too street oriented. So having ridden all those bikes, this CRF came up, and I really liked the look of the rallies, and that was the first thing that drew me into going and having a test ride. And honestly, as soon as I got on the bike and started doing some corners and stuff with it, it felt right, which is really difficult to quantify and explain, but for you guys out there that do ride, you'll know what I mean. You can ride 20 different bikes, but you'll get on one out of that 20 and it'll just be the right bike, and you will know that as soon as you ride it. So that was pretty much what sold me on this thing. The riding position is super comfortable. The height, the sort of clearance, sorry, is what I was after. Yeah, it's got a little less horsepower than some of the other models, but to be fair, that doesn't really bother me. I'm used to riding the Keeway, so this is 100cc more than that. So right off the bat, it's already got more go. And I personally prefer a bike that is light, flexible, and just manageable off-road, as opposed to something that weighs a ton but has more horsepower. So that just suits my riding style. Plenty of you out there that'll disagree, but at the end of the day, everybody likes what they like. So that's the reason there's so many different bike models out there for the adventure class. So you guys will be seeing quite a bit of this on the channel coming up. I plan to do some rides with some guys on this one, so that should be good fun. But we are just coming up on the Littleton Tunnel, which means I need to put my visor down and stop narrating. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so now we're out of that tunnel, back into some clean air. The other thing that you guys might be wondering is, will I be modifying this bike like I did the Keeway? Well, the short answer is yes. I can't leave well enough alone with any of my vehicles. I always seem to be doing something with them, but it won't be to the extent of the Keeway. I want to put some protection and some armour on this thing, because I do plan to take it off-road and give it, you know, the same sort of abuse that the Keeway saw. And other than that, it's pretty much good how it is. The rear suspension is a bit soft, and that might become an issue in the future if I start loading up some gear and that sort of thing, but at present it's actually not too bad. I haven't had it off-road yet, so that'll be the real test, but I do have a ride coming up that you guys will see on the channel shortly. To be honest, very shortly. It'll probably be the next episode after this one, and that will be quite a long all-day off-road ride. So really looking forward to that as well. But yeah guys, this is the new bike, and I'm very pleased so far and very excited to do some riding with it and get some scratches on this very shiny paintwork. Well guys, that has us out of the hills, and we're just about back at the beach. So I thank you very much for joining me on today's little test ride. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope my prattling on about what the CRF is and what I hope I can do with it hasn't been too boring. But yeah, look, genuinely thank you for coming along on this one. If you have any questions or would like to know any more about the bike, just make a comment below. I'll make sure to come back to you. And yeah, this intersection is us back at the beach, so that's that. But yeah, really thank you guys, and hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.